in future for us. And this value is inculcated through this curriculum and syllabus. To create a scientific attitude, it also tries that there is no thing which is just happening by itself. There is a base for it. There is cause or effect that is bringing up these changes. So that attitude is developed. When children observe, they bring in questions that develops the inquiry, and through that inquiry various reasons are produced. Peer learning takes place because students discuss with themselves and they bring in their own outcomes and they share their knowledge and they understand what is right. And of course, the teacher is there as a facilitator who will finally guide them that what is right, what is wrong into it. Then it also talks about to develop the ability of taking proper decisions with the help of acquired scientific information. Just now I spoke to you about it. That once they observe, they'll bring in the various inputs and then finally they can come up to the conclusion because the observations that are being brought in by students can be inferred, they can be discussed, and then finally one common conclusion can be brought in. Then it also focuses on to make scientific experiences through observation, examination, experiment, and inference. Now it is not just talking about only the experiments that are carried out in the lab. It talks about observing outside the classroom into the outside world and trying to put or record our inferences. To understand the basic facts, concepts, and principles in science, the main focus is to understand the base because nothing comes out by itself. Through observations, through the recordings, through the various observation recordings, finally, various conclusions are brought in, and then on a common concern, the sentiments and the sentences will come out. To create an awareness regarding the use of science and technology in everyday life and problems caused by excess utility of it. We are well aware of it. We all are using science and technology, and we also know the drawbacks. If it is excessively used, so surely it will bring the pitfalls to us, and that has been largely focused here. Then, to use the proper use of traditional and local knowledge. So, whatever the things are available at the local level, whatever the knowledge is available, should be utilized, and on that base, it should be piled up. Then, to understand the meaning of terminological words and use them properly and accurately. Now, if you are looking at the various aspects of the textbooks and curriculum, you will immediately come up with this explanation that if this curriculum is been studied from standard 1 to 5, little bit, that is starting from standard 3 to 5, there was introduction about the light, there is an introduction about the sound, but then in between there was no link. Directly it was introduced to standard 8 and then 9th and 10th. So this standard 6 curriculum and syllabus is trying to focus that it will bring up like a patch. It will be linking, and that is how the light or the sound, these basic concepts are introduced here so that it will preparing the base for the further enquiry and further depth knowledge. In the next slide, you are able to see one heading that talks about the constructivist approach. In the next session, you are looking at all these things in detail, but I just want to talk about it to brief you. When we talk about this concept of the framework, it is structured with a view to give importance to understand the concept, its application and comprehension rather than rote learning. It is continuation with both the ends, that is standard 1 to 5 and standard 9 to 10. It is coordinated with the NCF, its core concepts and standard wise handling of concepts. While walking on the path of constructivism, it is absolutely essential that expected level of aims is clearly viewed by the teacher. Examples of opportunities to develop the skills in the students with the help of their observations and experiences in life, acquired information as to estimate with the critical thinking, problem solving are given as important goal. It believes that every child is an individual one. It brings up its own knowledge. It is not something where you are putting up your things into its head. Even it has been seen and observed that before a child may understand a particular term or a thing, the knowledge is piled up onto him. So, it says that let the previous knowledge be associated with the new concepts, new knowledge, and that will bring the positive change that will help the child to relate it, and that is how he will develop and master his subjects. The acquired expected outcome also focused here. All answers, this is especially for the teachers, that all answers and all responses are to be accepted. Previously, aim was to focus on the definition study, but now there is no definition given directly. Various activities are given, various questions are raised up, then children are putting up it is rather their enthusiasm is triggered out. They think, they put up the knowledge, they associate it, and then they come up with various their observations. That time it must be minded well that we have to accept all their answers. We have to respect every response that has been given by the students. Here the teachers have to restrict themselves. They are not somebody who will give everything ready-made answers, ready-made knowledge to them. Let the children create their own knowledge. Let the children bring up the inferences. And so the teacher is just a facilitator. He is not the center of the classroom, but he is the backstage part of the classroom. The active part is of the students. Dear teachers, I would like to end up my session with only this hope that all the teachers will surely try to bring in these various views expressed. They'll go through the textbooks and they will surely appreciate it. Thank you.
Namaskar. My name is Dr. Abhay Jere. I am currently working as R&D head for Persistent Systems, and I am also member for the Science Committee.
Namaskar. I am Professor Dilip Zob. I worked in Savitribai Phule, Pune University for several years as Professor of Physics, and I have done a lot of research and teaching at the postgraduate level.
Welcome, sir.
I am also working as the member of this Science Committee.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome.
So, sir, while we were designing or conceptualizing this book, What was the basic considerations which were given while deciding the chapters or the content of this book?
Well, if you see the syllabus before 6th standard up to 5th standard, it is the study of the environment. So student or the child should be observing everything around. So it would be nature, it could be several vehicles running, it could be electrical poles, it could be anything around the child. So the expectation is the child will start learning about it from the study of the environment. So that was the main thing. After that, now this is first time formally the science is being introduced as general science. That also we are not dividing strictly as biology or chemistry or physics. That can be done later because it's compartmentalization. So that we don't want. So at this stage, we want a child to learn general science. So there will be some chapters in biology, some chapters in chemistry, some chapters in physics, but everything, as you will see in the book, related to what the child is observing.
While designing the content or chapters for this book, we have given consideration to two important aspects. One is what students have learned in the 5th standard or a previous year. And even the second is that there is continuity between the chapters while present. There is a very specific sequence and there is a reason to it. Huh? So would you like to talk more?
Well, yes, I mean there is a very good correlation between what they have learned in the 5th standard. So the same sequence you will find. First you have biology, then you have materials, sort of materials. I won't call it chemistry, but materials. Then you have physics around them, and this is an energy and the universe.
Yeah.
We end up with universe. So what they have been learning in 5th standard, we are elaborating on them.
Or building on.
So yeah,
Perfect.
and taking them further into the depth, without going into equations, without going into complications. We have seen that they understand the concept very well. So because that is going to build a base for them for learning further science. The students should be attracted to learn science. They should not be repelled. So the whole construction of the lessons, their sequence, their depth has been so done. So this objective is fulfilled.
But for the first time now we are introducing science in a formal fashion to 6th standard students. And we have given enough consideration to the various themes or various topics. So I think as I remember, I can recall, there are about 7 themes which we have focused on. Some themes are a part of biology, some themes are part of physics, chemistry. But sir, we have also stressed a lot about disaster management and natural resources, biodiversity. Would you like to talk about that, which is a very unique thing now?
Yeah, biodiversity is so important. Everybody is talking of biodiversity. But what is to be done to preserve it? Now it is, you have to build this idea in the mind of the children right from at the age of 7, 8, 9. That's the whole idea. Therefore, the biodiversity in biology chapters has been introduced to the children at this stage, at the 6th standard, so that later on they will be more responsible citizens taking care of the biodiversity.
And similarly, would like to
Similarly,
talk
when
about
physics
disaster management.
part of it, or disaster management, as you were saying, there are several disasters around us occurring every now and then. Now, what is the child supposed to do? Just look around helplessly? No. Whatever his or her might, he should contribute to manage the disaster. So, what is it that child can do? What is it that the child's parents can do? This has been discussed, and the disasters have been defined, and the students are made aware of the disasters.
I think at some place or within some position in this chapter, we have also tried stimulating student that what kind of disasters can happen around him while he is going to school or coming or going back from school to home, so that he is prepared
That's right,
mentally how to
even
handle.
small incidences,
Yeah,
like explosion of a gas cylinder
yeah,
in an auto. This can happen.
yes.
So how the student is going to face it?
Right.
Is he going to be in panic or no? And that is one of the objectives of discussing disaster management.
So another very important chapter which we have included is on food and nutrition, and there we have talked about junk food also, food adulteration also, which is again new, or which students should be aware of, or which. So would you like to talk about?
I mean, as such, food adulteration is a very important subject because it leads to several problems. You have every now and then news in the newspapers that several children have poisoning, food poisoning. So, what care must be taken? What is food poisoning? How does it occur? Then, what is nutrition? What kind of food the student must eat and digest? So this is very important. I mean, this cannot be thrust upon because the parents are telling to eat. Even parents are not knowing. So I think through these chapters, even parents will get educated and they will know what they must give to the
Students,
to their children.
Another important problem which we are currently facing, especially in Maharashtra, is of water shortage. And the first chapter, which we are talking about air, water and land, there we are giving a lot of emphasis on water conservation. We are talking a lot about the small minuscule percentage of potable water which is available on the earth. Would you like to, sir, talk about that?
Again, as you rightly said about just like disaster management, I mean, to save every drop of water is the need of the hour. As we see around us in Maharashtra, what has happened in the last couple of years, the levels have gone down. There's a lot of shortage of water, and in this situation, the students have to be made aware. I mean, how to utilize every drop of water. What is the importance of potable water? Because today we are in cities like Pune or Mumbai, we are getting tap water easily. It doesn't mean that everybody in the state is getting that. So to make the children aware of it and to save water, to put them into habit of saving water, that is the objective, and that is what we are trying to achieve through this.
So I think considering these requirements, the social requirements which are there, the need of the hour, as well as the problems faced by a nation, and basic fundamentals of science which students should know, I think these were the 3 or 4 major considerations which were given
Yes.
while designing the content of this book. And I think it's a foundation.
Yes, and more importantly, the scientific attitude.
Right.
So in everything we have tried to give scientific attitude. For example, several websites we have quoted that the students, what they see around, everything cannot be taught at their level. But if some bright students, some spark somewhere, they want to have more knowledge about, for example, Maglev trains. We don't see such train around. But students today, they are observing TV, they are getting information from elsewhere. If their curiosity is aroused, there should be a way to satisfy
Yeah,
them.
we have.
So we have provided them with such channels. They can go to the website and satisfy their hunger.
Sir, even while designing exercise for each chapter, we have tried to be innovative. We have tried to do crosswords, a lot of filling the blanks, multiple choice. So we would like to elaborate more on that. And we have even tried giving science watch and things like that.
The whole idea in devising such type of questions is the central idea that nothing is to be mugged up. Science is a subject which is to be learned by experimenting with. So everywhere in the book, in each of the chapters,
Try
you will
it.
find, try to do it yourself. Can you tell this? Please tease your brain. Try to find out the answer. These are the questions that are posed during the text. So, lot of things the student has to do by his own hands. The science is an experimental
Or
science.
he's expected at least to do.
Expected, and the teachers should guide them.
Yeah. And
Because
teachers
some
should
of the
act as a
experiments,
facilitator.
yeah, some of the experiments are not very easy. So, in those, particularly those experiments, the teachers can demonstrate or help the students in their presence to do the experiments. But several experiments the children can do at home and learn science from it. So many things one cannot take it for granted. One can learn science through it. So that is the message we want to give through such examples.
Another new thing which we have tried introducing at end of each chapter is giving some activities associated. For example, for biodiversity chapter, we have actually asked requesting students to go out and collect different types of seeds, and try planting them in appropriate season. Similarly, sir, activities like the substances which we use routinely, we are asking students to visit various factories.
Yes,
Yeah?
that's right.
We are also stressing students to think about their electricity bill from an energy conservation point of view. So, sir, would you like to talk few about more such activities?
Again, we want the child to relate science and have a scientific attitude and relate science with what he is observing around. Science is not something different. You mug up and then you write in the examination. Science is happening every second around you. So learn it, live it. That is why you have electricity bills. Okay, you are learning energy, chapter on energy. Yeah, see the bills. Where can you save electricity? We are asking them to save electricity. Where can you save?
Similarly, with paper also, we are talking
Yeah,
a
paper
lot about
or
paper conservation.
Yeah. Or experiments with magnet.
Yes.
Do it yourself and see whether you can verify a certain law. What has been given there, can you live that science? Can you observe it yourself? So that is going to have tremendous impact on them. Because so far, science students and teachers both have been feeling that it is to be mugged up. You have to remember everything. And now is so much information. So in a way it's good that we have given so much of information. So don't mug up, please. Learn it through your experience and you will never forget.
Also, we have talked about various research institutions which are there aggressively
Even
working
that
in it.
information
We're talking
is
about ISRO, talking about Zoological Institute or National Oceanographic Institute. We have given some information about. So if a child wants to pursue his career in science subsequently, which are the places where he can, or institutions where he can go?
Right,
and-
yeah, but we are all aware of it that although lot of information you will find in this book, lot of information, but it is not to be mugged up by the student. That is the most important underlying fact, that all teachers
They should not prepare questions on filling the blanks based on which institution works on that.
you can give multiple choices, give several words, let the students choose. You will find some in exercises. We have that.
We
kind
haven't
of-
tried
we have
doing
tried to
crosswords
Give
and
some
things like that.
examples.
Yeah.
So students and teachers themselves can also devise questions
Right.
where no memorization is required.
I think it is expected that they should devise their questions rather than actually.
And